first years, they study the idea and image of Africa, so they study how the media portrays Africa. You have the choice between different modules.
Great. Very good. So, what's the elevator pitch on what you are doing?
So we have a community service project called our enterprise. So basically what we do is we tutor primary school kids.
If the pass mark was higher, then it would be better, because then the students would proceed to the next grade, would have a good enough foundation to be able to succeed.
So if you are the Minister of Education here, what would you do differently?
I'll start putting much attention from very low grades so that they can know that there's something big coming up.
So where are you from?
I'm from Morocco.
Liberia.
Cameroon. Wow.
Basically, we're an enterprise that tries to create, we're trying to create a platform, an online platform that would ease the access to opportunities for young African entrepreneurs.
Go. Okay, ask the question. Very good question. When I was 4 years old, they evicted us from our house in the area where I was living. And purely because I was the wrong color of skin. So I was angry from a very young age. Angry that someone took my house away. And I lost my friends and I lost the places where I used to play. When I grew up to be a teenager, I found other young people that were angry. And then when I was, a teenager, I went to a meeting of Steve Biko. He was a charismatic student leader of ours. I remember being in this crowded church hall with him speaking about the choices we have in life. What are the choices we have in life? We have a choice to either submit and accept our oppression, or to accept discrimination, or to accept our status that we are given in life. And it made me confident to be who I am and to fight who I am. And he said another thing. He said, you can choose to be a bystander and accept what happens in your life. Or you could choose to become involved. You could pay the ultimate sacrifice and lose your life. But at least you will know that if you have to die fighting for a cause, you will die an honorable death. Those are choices that face us in our generation. They're not the choices that face your generation. But there are some fundamental things that face you today. The question we have to ask is, what is the future of those young people? How do we make Africa take its rightful place in that world that we have? And even today, the world takes the talent of Africa and they achieve around the world, and we lose this talent. How many of you will go and study abroad? And how many of you will come back? That's not your fault if you choose not to come back. Because the question we have to ask, do we create the right environment to make you come back? We've been educated to work for someone. I want to get out of here and I'm going to go to university and I'm going to get an economics degree and some bank is going to employ me. I even do an MBA so I get a good job. So part of what we need to do in our education system is to think about what is it that we need to do to develop a notion that we can create our own jobs. What are the values we walk out of this room or out of this institution? And that's why my belief that I should be here, and I spend a lot of my time talking to young people like you and having a conversation. And that's what I want to have, is I don't have a solution. And we made mistakes. And I can't come here and tell you, well, this is what you have to do. That's a very individual choice you will make. You will have to decide, individual by individual, what you want to do. And the only difference is you would have to produce your leaders, your Steve Bikos, your Mandelas, your Archbishop Tutus. You will have to produce the Nasers of the future.
What about those children who get textbooks, who get privileges, yet they take it for granted and then they never do anything with the opportunities they're given?
We are not all made the same. Some people need encouragement. Some people need strong discipline. Some people need nothing. You know? So any society is made up of those that will be the natural readers who do want to achieve. And there's always imperative that leaders like that become leaders not just of their own individual success.
Democracy. How do you feel the South African government has fared in delivering everything that it's promised?
The third is the level of governance within a school. And so at the end of the day, if something goes wrong here, you know, who are we going to look at? We're going to look at the principal. I'm not going to come and say, but you know, you all are responsible for the chaos, and hold the head of the institution accountable. That doesn't happen in South Africa. So there are many reasons for why education is failing in South Africa, and it has very little to do with the amount of money.
What do you think, and how do you feel about the secrecy bill?
Okay? You know, one of the things we fundamentally fought for was voice, to have our views expressed. And one of the principles of our struggle was, even if I disagree with what you are saying, I will defend to death your right to say it. And so I think the secrecy bill draws a veil of secrecy over our society. And so I have to ask a very fundamental question: why? What are we afraid of? Why would we want to go back to type of legislation that the apartheid government used to silence us?